What seen events in your life have drenched your faith in the unseen God? Welcome to the Daily Devo. I am Vince Miller. This week we are in 1 Samuel chapter 12. I've titled this chapter, God is Faithful When We Are Not. So remember, the nation of Israel is gathered at Gilgal, this historic location. Samuel is proclaiming his final and very historic address before the entire nation. And then he says this in verses 15 through 18. He states, "But if you will not obey the voice of the Lord, but rebel against the commandment of the Lord, then the hand of the Lord will be against you and your king." Notice he calls Saul your king. "Now therefore stand still and see this great thing that the Lord will do before your eyes. Is it not wheat harvest today? I will call upon the Lord that he may send thunder and rain, and you shall know and see your wickedness is great, which you have done in the sight of the Lord in asking for yourselves a king." So Samuel called upon the Lord, and the Lord sent thunder and rain that day, and all the people greatly feared the Lord and Samuel. So this moment is awesome because you see, Samuel is no ordinary teacher. He is not some big name Christian influencer, pastor, or teacher upheld by public popularity. He's the Lord's anointed and judge and prophet who was faithful from beginning to the end. And when Samuel spoke, he spoke on behalf of the Lord, not himself, and never to gain any form of public popularity, but to drive the people back to the Lord. But it's really the timing of this event and the inauguration that's interesting. You see, it happened during wheat harvest, which probably means nothing to you, but it meant everything to the people of Israel. They were an agrarian culture. So they relied on the production of the land and relied upon farming. To them, harvest was everything. It was their sustenance for the coming year. And they happened to be gathering on this day, the day of harvest. But note, when wheat harvest began, which was early summer, it never rained. It never rained. Therefore, a sudden thunderstorm and rain would have been a bizarre, an unusual occurrence. So now imagine the scene. Samuel speaking, right? So he closes. He points out their sin, their wickedness, and even their need for obedience. And as he does, he closes in prayer. He prays that God will confirm his exhortation to them with a natural but very unlikely event. And as he's praying, some of these guys open their eyes, and behind him comes in a storm system. It blows in. Exposed in the valley of Gilgal, thunder roars, lightning strikes, and the people are drenched by an inescapable rain and the might of an inescapable God. You know, many in this life believe they can escape the reality of God, don't they? I mean, we think that we can outthink and outmaneuver God, but eventually sin rains down on us all, and we are drenched by the inescapable reality that God is the only one who can save us. He is the unseen God who is king over all seen things. And sometimes God uses seen and unexplainable events to communicate that he's still there, he's still working, and he is still saving. You know, recently, our first grandchild entered this world. Everett was born accidentally at home 3 months early while my daughter was putting her pants on in the bathroom. Now, within minutes, EMTs were at her home. They cut the umbilical cord, rushed Everett off to the hospital. On the way to the hospital, an EMT held Everett in his hand as he suddenly stopped breathing. And they tried to resuscitate this little tiny 3-pound child, but were unsure if their efforts were effective. But with God and a lot of prayers from people like you, Everett is home. He is alive and well, but it was a wild ride. Today, Everett is almost 12 pounds and he's thriving. God has drenched our lives using this small child to show us the inescapable reality of an awesome God. You know, here's my question for you today. What seen what seen events in your life have drenched you in the reality of the unseen God? There are some, I know it. I want you to recall one today and then just share it with someone like I did you. And let's drench the people that we know in the reality of a real and living, seen God. I love you guys. I pray this has blessed you. If it has, share it with someone else. And I'll see you right back here. Yeah, tomorrow.